Hello and welcome. This is my Mercedes-Benz W210 E220D, and this specific one was a taxi. I'm not sure where from. I believe from Austria. I bought this car as my first car actually 2 or 3 months ago, and today I'm going to give you my review on it, tell you what's good about this being your first car. Here's the key. Now the key is very cool because for a Mercedes from this area, you would not expect it to have a remote key, but it does. Anyways, we're just gonna start the car now. There we go. Very good and easy start. And let's just hop off here. Okay, so now that we're going, let me just quickly tell you a few things about this car that make it really cool. Check this out. It's got a sunroof. It does have leather seats as well as heated seats, which is something I really wanted to get in the car because obviously that's basically the pinnacle of luxury at this price point. It's got a mono wiper. Actually, that's really cool. Okay, so let me tell you about the safety of this car, because one of the reasons why I picked this model of a car specifically because I feel like it's safe. You know, you look at B and C and A pillars of old cars, and you see they're so skinny. There's like no, there's no like crumble zone. There's no nothing. If you get hit, you're gonna die. And what I'm really impressed with is got driver's airbag, passenger airbag, as well as side airbags for both passenger and driver, and probably curtain airbags. I'm not too sure about that. I don't know what this is. I think that's what it is, but that doesn't say airbag anywhere. Oh yeah, also here's a quick look at the interior. Hopefully this sound won't be too bad, but yeah, as you come in, it's really cozy in here. You can see a lot of things. And yeah, there's a bit of a scratching of the seats, but yeah, in the interior it's pretty nice. Now the thing is, when you're buying a used car, especially an old car, and you're getting it for super cheap, the main thing is there's gonna be a lot of things that really don't work. And yeah, this car is no exception. There's a lot of things that don't work. And also when I bought the car, there were a lot of small rust patches and dents and scratches on both the bumper and the bodywork and everywhere. It wasn't that bad, but I'm just saying, you know, you gotta expect that kind of stuff. But yeah, some of the stuff that doesn't work apart from the car, the window or the headlight washers, they really don't work. That doesn't work. The rear window defroster doesn't work. The sunroof doesn't work. You can see the sunroof is uncovered, but it can't open nor close, as well as the rear windows, the rear passenger windows don't work. And I had to block those off really because, you know, someone could just drop them down and steal stuff. Of course, there's a lot of imperfections, like the seats are cracked. There's actually a hole in the seat. As you can see, there's some minor damage. I've tried to fix as much as I could, but I don't know. I just really like the car either way. I don't think it's bad because it has some damage. And honestly, yeah, I just really like the look. It looks spectacular, especially from the back. So yeah, looks pretty good. It's a really, really bad engine. It's like the worst engine you can get because it's previous generation. Anyways, I didn't even look if this car is LCI or not. I didn't even know. I just bought it. And it turned out that this car was pre-LCI and had this garbage engine, which is only making around 95 horsepower, I believe. And the thing is, I've got an EPC light on, which means, I don't know, electronic power control or something like that. Essentially, it tells you your car is garbage, you got to get it fixed, and something's not working. And it limits the RPM to around 3,000. And because the RPM is limited to 3,000, usually there's basically no power. You can't overtake anything, you can't do anything, but that's okay because, yeah, this car is not really meant to be used as a serious, I don't know, Autobahn weapon. It's just meant for daily things when you go around town. This car, probably the speedometer doesn't even work well. I'm not sure. I know it says that it's going a bit faster than it is, which makes it really hard if you're trying to obey the law very strictly. And you might even be able to see it here, but when the car goes over 60, 70, 80, it goes all wobbly. And I'm not really sure what that's. I think it could be some alignment. I've read things about it on the internet. It could be alignment, could be bad suspension. I don't know. I'm not going to drive this car fast anyways, and I don't really take it on the highway. I'm just using it for commutes, even though we are going 70 right now, which is kind of crazy for this car to be able to go that fast. But yeah, I can feel the wobble. This is a really cool thing. When you let off the accelerator or the gas pedal, it kind of just goes all the, like, I don't know, it's crazy. I hope nothing like just gives out and I crash into a pole. That would be really bad. But apart from that, I'm kind of good. Okay, so let's just talk about it. It's a 5-speed manual, and that's very unusual for me. All the manuals I've driven were 6 speeds, so it's kind of unusual for a 5-speed manual. The fuel gauge doesn't work. That's really good. The car has left me stranded multiple times, and it's mostly been due to my inexperience with trash cars because honestly, I've only driven cars that work, and this was my first car that didn't work. And I've driven in some sketchy cars, but they all work. And the thing is, with this car, it's got a really bad battery, so if you leave anything on, even if you're parked and the engine is off for like just a few seconds, anything is on, that means your car won't start when you need it to. I've push started it many times. People have helped me to push start it. It's always a good time because everybody's like, nobody's ever done it. Everybody here has cars that actually work, so it's kind of a fun experience to, you know, push a car around. And yeah, this car is actually really heavy. I think 1.5 tons. That's really heavy as far as cars go. The car's left me stranded because of the low battery, and it's also a few times left me stranded because of no fuel. Now what happens is the fuel gauge doesn't work. I don't know how much fuel I've got, and honestly, as a person who doesn't have a lot of experience with trash cars, I didn't know I ran out of fuel. I don't know, you know, I thought it could be anything. I thought it could be the starter. I thought it could be, you know, multiple different things. And yeah, it was the fuel in the end. And I actually keep a spare can of fuel in the trunk. I don't know if that's good or not, but I keep it in there just in case, because, you know, you never know when maybe you or someone else is going to need some fuel. And also in the trunk, something that's very useful to have, I've got a large extension cable and one of those battery tenders. So whenever I run out of battery completely and the car won't start, my plan is to just ask someone to use the electricity from their house and just charge it and go for a walk and come back. Oh yeah, and another thing, I gotta show you this. This is how you open the trunk. So you go in here and you pump this like grenade thing. It's crazy. And yeah, you can hear that. And that's how you pop the trunk open. Okay, so after you've heard me talk about this car for so long and essentially I've never said anything good about it, you might ask yourself, why did I even buy this car? Why do I even like? First of all, I needed the car, and yeah, this car is very good in terms of safety. I think it looks good. People say it looks really ugly, and also because it was a taxi, it has that specific taxi color that they use. But in my opinion, the taxi color just gives it a nice personality. It's different from the other cars. It's not gray, it's not black, it's not white. It's like, I don't know, mayonnaise color. And I mean, honestly, this car at its time was probably the pinnacle of luxury apart from the S-Class. So yeah, I gotta say, after 24 years, it still feels luxurious, and I'm very happy to be in this car. I really like it. One thing that I do want to mention is that because a lot of things in this car are broken, when I got it, I really wanted to fix some stuff. And you know, at some point it seems easy. You just Google how to fix that on this car, and there's many tutorials. There's even one guy, I really like that guy, by the way. He makes videos specifically for this model of this car, and he's got it everything. But the thing is, I realized along the way that I'm really stupid and I don't know how to do any of that stuff. And what happens is, every time I try to fix something, I actually break something else. So I just decided to leave it as it is. The best thing I've done is buying this like cheap thing which you can plug in here and you get Bluetooth in your car. It is actually pretty cool to have Bluetooth in your car from the 1990s. But yeah, apart from that, my advice would be, if you ever get a garbage car and you're a person who has no idea how to do anything on cars like me, don't do anything on cars. It's a very bad idea. And as I said, I've broken more stuff than I've fixed. That's the best part about buying a cheap car. If I did this on a car that I really cared about, that I spent a lot of money on, I would probably be very upset at myself. This car, honestly, I really don't care. Not because I don't appreciate the car, but that's why I bought it for. You know, I can make mistakes and be happy about them. So I'm really happy with the experiences I've gotten through it in these past 2 months. And you know, if you think about it, 2 months, I don't know how long more it's gonna last. I hope I can get it registered and keep on driving it because I really like the car. All right, so there we have it. Thanks for watching my car review, and I'll see you next time.